Oh, what's going on, guys? It's Chris here, and today we're going to be talking about a game I'm so excited for. You don't understand how excited I am for this game. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. It's a game that I am so excited for. It's a game that just brings back so much nostalgia. And Beanox, just take all of my money. I've already bought the Nitrous Oxide edition, and every trailer they've dropped, I've just been like, that's it. This game's great. They can't do anything else. And then 6 weeks later, they drop another trailer and they're like, oh, by the way, 5 new characters and 5 new tracks. And oh, by the way, we're now doing all of Nitro Car. And by the way, all the tag team racing stuff. And they just keep going beyond expectations. And now they have confirmed Grand Prix mode. And with Grand Prix mode, we got this poster confirming that we're getting new characters and new tracks. And they started to confirm, well, the first bunch, confirming Torna and all of the trophy girls in Season 1, confirming Baby Cortex, Baby Coco, and Baby T in Season 2, and confirming only Spyro for the Season 3 of Grand Prix mode. They've not confirmed what this is, whether it is online or offline gameplay. However, it just opens the door to everything in the Crash universe, and with Spyro, any of the other universe. I mean, we could just get Buzz Lightyear as a character, for goddamn sake. But we're going to be realistic. We're going to go ahead and talk about the stuff that's missing from the game. And it's hard to think, with all of this content getting thrown at us, that they've actually missed anything. But they have. They've missed a variety of characters and stuff that are almost certain going to be confirmed in this Grand Prix mode at some point or another. And today we're going to explore the characters, the carts, the skins, some of the tracks maybe that I want to see in this Grand Prix mode coming up. First of all, we're going to talk about the characters that are confirmed. As you can see, they are still on the screen. Torna, super excited for, and the Trophy Girls, I am super excited for. I love these, and I love that they've given all of these Trophy Girls their individual characters. If you've seen the gameplay of them, if you haven't, you can find it anywhere on YouTube. Just search the Trophy Girl gameplay for it. They've each got a characteristic. They all seem to be from different countries, and there's one with the British accent, American, there's one with sort of an Italian accent. They've really put some character into these characters, and there is a few characters in this list that could do with that as well. But with that, we move on to the second one. Confirming Baby T was a bit of a curveball, and to be honest, it opens up, like I said, pretty much anything. I mean, Baby T wasn't a character that the fans really screamed for. I've seen a few people mention it, but I've not seen on the Crash forums people putting like Baby T or Riot. However, characters from the original games and the first set of characters we're going to talk about have been heavily rumoured, heavily speculated, and heavily requested for the game. And Baby Coco and Baby Crash, I'm really not looking forward to. Fortunately, it's probably the biggest downfall of it. I would say these could quite easily have been reskins for the characters, as well as probably a Baby Cortex. I feel they've gone a little bit down the Mario Kart route, and Mario Kart has a lot of characters, but when you go and look at it, and you look at Peach, Baby Peach, Golden Peach, Luigi, Baby Luigi, Golden Luigi, and it's just very repetitive, and these could quite easily have been incorporated into this. But without further ado, let's get into the characters and stuff that I want in the game, starting off with Koala Kong from Crash 1. Koala Kong is quite an iconic boss. I mean, it was in the original game, though it didn't really make it into many other games after this. It's still a pretty big character, and I absolutely love the scenery of this level. Could quite easily have this as a track, something along the lines of Dragon Mines, or maybe even like Mystery Caves or something like that. I love the glowing crystals in the remaster. I think this is very reminiscent of Gemstone Valley in the remaster of Crash Team Racing, if you have seen the gameplay of that. There's a lot of stuff you could do, but more importantly, Koala Kong has a lot of character, and I don't know if I prefer his current look, where he looks like he's taken enough steroids to rival professional boxers, or his old look where he still looks like a really strong character, but nowhere near as strong as he looks in the remake. Koala Kong has also been featured in a few other games like Crash Bash, which is personally one of my favourite Crashes, and I feel that really he should have been in the game. If he's not in the original roster from the beginning, I definitely feel he will show up in a Grand Prix, very similar to the next character, Dr. Nitrous Brio. nbrio was probably the biggest character in the second Crash game, in my opinion, and one of the biggest characters in the original. He's in the opening cutscene, he's one of the first characters we're introduced to, he's the second to last boss, he has so much health, and then when you kill him, he changes into this alternate form, which I would love, and I mean love, to be an alternate skin. His level as such, I don't think you really could make into a racetrack as such. Sort of a dark castle, very reminiscent to Cortex's castle. It probably is Cortex's castle, it's probably just another floor, but here is his big green Hulk form. I would love as an alternate skin in the game. The boss itself isn't very hard, but nbrio, in my opinion, should be in the game. After this and Crash 2, he sort of got brushed to the side, only showing up in like Crash Bash, probably showed up in maybe in one of the iOS games, or maybe one of the Game Boy games, I'm not too sure, before showing up in the Crash of the Titans, Mind Over Mutants game franchise, sort of as a comedic character. He played a completely different role as he did in the original games, and I kind of preferred the comedic version. I didn't enjoy the Mind Over Mutants, Crash of the Titans sort of era of Crash, but nbrio's character there was kind of funny. I kind of got it, and I kind of got along with it, and it was a real shame to say goodbye to the villain after 2 games, because, like I said, he played a pretty important role. And the last character from Crash 1 is the lab assistant, and I feel that he's so generic. He's been in every Crash game nearly, if not every Crash game. He shows up at some point or another, and has shown up in Nitro Fueled a few times as one of the side characters. He's fairly generic, he's been in every game, and I feel he shouldn't be the main character of the Grand Prix, but maybe one of the side characters, maybe of the Nitrous Brio Grand Prix. He has had so many reskins throughout the games, and like Brio and Koala Kong, he already has his updated character model from the Insane Trilogy, so I feel this would be a nice, quick, easy character to throw in to one of the Grand Prix. Moving immediately on to Crash 2, they've pretty much got everything from Crash 2 already in the game. Tiny and Cortex and all of the bosses, even Komodo Joe, but no Komodo Mo? This just doesn't make sense. I feel the other Komodo brother really should be in the game. Why he isn't, no one will know. Why he wasn't in the original? Well, there was reasons. I believe it was limitations on the PS1 system. But we're on the PS4 now, so this should really be inevitable. I really feel that both of the Komodo brothers should have been reminiscent to the Crash Nitro Kart norm race, where they both were racing at the same time. If you play Crash Nitro Kart, you'll get where I'm coming from with this. I feel that this is probably the only thing from Crash 2, really, that could be added to the game. And with that, we're just going to move straight on to Crash 3. So, looking at the Crash 3 bosses and characters, you got Crash and Coco, both playable in the Insane Trilogy, and then you have all of these bosses, and you look at them, and they're all already in the game. So there's probably not a lot from Crash 3 you could take, but hear me out, I have an idea, and out of all of these little ideas and characters, this to me sounds my favourite. Remember me earlier talking about how Baby Crash and Baby Coco could have been alternate skins? Well, let's take Uka Uka as a playable character, along with the alternate skins for Aku Aku and all the elemental masks from the Wrath of Cortex. Of course, there's a lot of other things you could do. You could have Uka Uka's ice boss skin thing from Twinsanity, and you could even, if you really wanted to, although I think they look horrendous, have their skins from the Mind Over Mutant franchise and the Titans franchise. Everything in that game was a mess. I hated them games, and really killed the Crash franchise for me, as well as a few other people. This, to me, is probably my favourite idea, although the idea of a mask racing in a kart doesn't sound appealing. We do have a polar bear also racing in a kart, so why can't we have these? These two characters are probably the most iconic characters behind, like, Crash, Coco, Cortex. Uka Uka and Aku Aku have been in just about every game since they debuted. One debuted in Crash 1, the other debuted in Crash 3, and pretty sure has made its way into every game every side game, every mini game, every iOS game at some point, whether it be as a power-up in the racing games or anything else. And the idea of having all the elementals as skins, I absolutely love. And really, that's all I can take from Crash 3. Good game, by the way. And that really completes the Naughty Dog era of Crash. But wait, who has to stop at the Naughty Dog era? We've already got all the characters from Crash Nitro Kart confirmed, as well as a bunch of other characters on the horizon, so we're not stopping there. We're going to go on to post-Naughty Dog era, and we're going to go to my favourite, Crash Bash. Not really much to talk about with Crash Bash. Crash, Coco, Cortex, Dingle Tiny already confirmed, nbrio and Koala Kong we've already talked about. There's only Rillaroos, character that debuted in Crash Bash and did not a lot after this. I really can't think where else he's shown up. He had little to no personality or characteristics. However, he is still a Crash character that was in a Crash game, and I feel Beanox, having already seen what they've done with the Trophy Girls, could bring some characteristics to the character, really heavily win. I mean, all we have is this.
Rillaroos wins.
And after Crash Bash, we essentially got the Wrath of Cortex, which was all about Crunch, a game that was around Crunch and the elemental masks that we've basically already talked about. After that, we got an army and just average Game Boy games. Crash Bandicoot The Huge Adventure, Entranced, which was actually a very good game. Crash Purple was thrown in there, as well as Crash Nitro Kart, and we actually have everything from Crash Nitro Kart confirmed, except for one character that I'm not even going to heavily talk about, because he's kind of already in it, but he's not, and that's Real Velo. He's sort of like, his baby form is in it. If you've played the game, you'll know what I mean. This could just be a reskin. I'm not going to talk too much on it. I'm happy for this to just be a reskin of Real Velo. However, a separate character would be nice. However, again, I just feel a reskin is necessary. I don't think we need to give up a character spot for something like this. Moving on, though, we do have Crash Twinsanity, a game released in 2004 that was met with mixed reviews. It sort of took the platformer-style game that Crash was and threw it out the window and made it into this open-world game. A lot of people liked it, a lot of people hated it. Most people probably say it's the best game post-Naughty Dog for the Crash franchise, and there's some really memorable characters in it, like...
Niece! We must do something!
Yes, Nina Cortex, probably the most requested character of all of the characters, probably the most well-supported character outside of the Naughty Dog era, maybe with the exception of Crunch. Nina has already been in a kart racer. She was actually in Crash Nitro Kart 2, however it was exclusive only to the iOS, and wasn't very good, I'm not going to lie. On top of that, she played a huge role in Crash Twinsanity. She played a huge role in a few of the Game Boy games, and is probably the most requested character in this entire list. Probably the only character that would have come close was Crunch, but he's already been confirmed. So I think there's no doubting that out of all of the Twinsanity characters, Nina Cortex is probably up there, and probably one we're going to see sooner rather than later. Also, just want to quickly bro over some other characters. Madame Amberly and the Evil Twins from Crash Twinsanity are two characters I also would like to see, and I would love to see Madame Amberly's Academy of Evil as a track. Moving on to Crash Tag Team Racing, though, however, it's obvious. There's little characters in here. You could include the Ninja Penguin, however, I'm probably going to say that will be a Penta Penguin skin, but we're just going to go over the main 2/3 characters we're missing. As you can see, Von Clutch is going to be one of the most important characters that we will end up getting. He is probably the main character in the game. Obviously, Crash will always be the main character. He is the main protagonist, if you'd like, or no, that's still not the right word. It is very essential to the Crash Tag Team Racing game, and of course, representing Von Clutch is Pasadena Possum, and we also have Von Clutch's ever faithful sidekick, mascot, stroke villain, plot twist, Willy Wampa Cheeks. They're the only 3 characters really that could make it from the Crash Tag Team Racing. Of course, you've got all the tracks, which I think are pseudo-confirmed. We also have all of the karts from Crash Tag Team Racing that are confirmed. Other than that, there's not really too much to go off. Quickly having a look at the rest of the games for Crash. After this, it went to the Titans franchise, and you could quite easily argue that you could put some of the Titans in it, but that's going a bit too far for me, and I'm not really going to enjoy that. Off that, for other characters, I've heard Ripto's name be mentioned as a part of the Spyro. Would be nice to see. On crop of that, there's not really too much more I can say. To me, I think that is more than enough characters to last us at least a year and a half. I think these seasons are going to be monthly. And with that, guys, that is everything I want, I think, from this game. However, if none of these happened, I would still happily give this game 5 stars without even playing it. This game looks insane, pun intended, and hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and hopefully you enjoy the game when it comes out. Maybe expect some gameplay on it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe I've missed a character that you would like to see. There's a lot of side characters that could quite easily make it. After Baby T's confirmation, no holds barred to what characters could be confirmed. But if you've enjoyed it, it's been Screech, guys. Peace.